Hello and welcome to an exclusive interview on ET Edge Insights. Today we have a very special guest with us, Mr. Niranjan Kirloskar. He is the MD of Fleetguard Filters. Mr. Kirloskar, it's a pleasure to host you on ET Edge Insights. Thank you for doing this with us.
Thank you very much. It's an honor
Thank you.
because it gives us an opportunity to talk about things that we have experienced in life,
Right.
which can be helpful to others.
Right.
I don't know, but
Right.
I'm assuming. So thank you very much.
Pleasure. Let me begin by asking you, when we talk about an ever-flourishing organization, in your words, what's the thought behind it? And when we talk about your organization in particular, how do you align that?
See, ever flourishing concept
Right.
for any business,
Right.
irrespective of what segment you are in, this has come from something called as theory of constraints, what we have adopted in our company, which was invented by one Dr. Eliyahu Goddard. He's no more, unfortunately. But he invented this theory, which is theory of constraints. And he defined this ever-flourishing company. Now, what does that really mean is that the company over years and years and years keeps on growing at a substantial rate, not only profitably, but at the same time, all the stakeholders are secured of their future, which now, when I say all the stakeholders, obviously when you start a company, the shareholders are already taken care of.
Right.
The suppliers are taken care of. But here we are talking the major shareholder or major stakeholder. What we are talking about in an ever-flourishing company is the employee in that company.
Right.
So you keep on growing your profits, you keep on growing in the market that you are operating in, you keep on adding value to whatever you are doing right now. That's the way we keep on growing the company. That is what we define as an ever-flourishing company. So
Right.
it will always flourish, no matter whether there is a recession, whether there is COVID,
Right.
or any other calamity that we may face in future. That company will be strong and will keep on growing, and the employees particularly will be secured, the suppliers will be secured,
Right.
the customers will be secured that yes, that this is a ever-flourishing company,
Right.
and this will stand by us whatever the timing is.
Right. Right. Interesting. Now that you talk about employees per se as one of the critical stakeholders, one of the more critical thing is in a volatile situation as today's scenario, every organization needs to innovate. So there needs to be a culture of innovation within an organization. So as a leader within the organization, how do you instill that culture of innovation? And is there a strategy in place for your organization, particularly with regards to innovation?
Let me answer this question in this manner. Number one, we do not have any strategy in Fleetguard vis-a-vis innovation.
Right.
That's number one. Now, why do I say that? Innovation will not necessarily come from a particular department. It can come even from a peon or a janitor working in the organization. Now, we have around 1,000 colleagues of mine working in Fleetguard, pan India. They may be in the factory,
Right.
they may be in the marketing department, they may be in R&D, wherever. What we have done is, as a culture over here, is given all these 1,000 plus people to make mistake whenever they want, with only one condition, that you shall not repeat that mistake. Now, what is the advantage of this? Why does a person or an employee in an organization, why does he or she not try to do a new thing every day? The reason is very clear: fear of failure.
True.
Now, if I try something new and I fail, my boss is going to say, who asked you to do it? Was it your forte? Was it your department? Was it your jurisdiction? We do not have anything of that sort. We have given our people a freedom to do what they want every day. Even one mistake a day, which means let us assume 1,000 people make one mistake a day, which is 1,000 mistakes. Now, what the organization has learned from this entire thing, there are 1,000 ways in which a particular thing is not going to work. And in the 1,000, even if we find 2 which will work, is an innovation for us.
Right.
Or is a change for us. So whenever we want to come up with a new product in the company, yes, the market is important, what the market wants. But we ask all of the people to contribute to what do you think that we should make a change in a product where
Right.
it can either be a breakthrough or it may be a completely different kind of a product which is an innovative product.
Right.
So that is how we have instilled this culture.
Right, sir.
So no fear of failure. You are allowed to do mistake. That mistake only once.
Right.
Do not repeat that mistake. If you repeat that mistake, then you have a problem.
Right, right. So, very interesting. With conscious responsibility, you're building accountability. So that's something we into. Now, obviously, in this line of work, customers are also very critical. You've just talked about the stakeholders, your vendors. Critically, you talked about your employees. So, when it comes to customers, you've talked about innovation, the culture of accountability. How do you treat your customers, with regards to all your innovation culture put together in order to obviously give out the best for the customer?
See, I mean, it's a no-brainer for any business.
Right.
Customer is the king.
Absolutely.
There are 2 ways to look at it. One, you understand the customer need. Now, when I say understand the customer need, it can be the OEM, it can be the end user,
Right.
like a truck driver for us. That's one way to look at it. Second is come up with a product where you can create a market for your product. Now, creating a market for your product, mainly it will happen in consumer goods. Because every individual, you, I, are a customer.
Absolutely.
Just like a mobile phone. Now, whether that was a need or whether that need was created by mobile companies, we don't know. So, as far as our business goes, because we are in an engineering industry, it is very essential for us to understand as to where the market is going, where the technology is moving to. Now, if the technology, let us say, is moving to from BS6 to BS7, and we try to come up with a product which is good for BS12, obviously it's not going to be sold.
Right.
Because the price, the cost is going to be very high. So we have to be very careful. We have to understand the need of the customer. Now, when we understood the need of the customer, we are a filter company. Does a customer want a filter? When we started debating it internally,
Right.
we realized customer doesn't need a filter. The engine doesn't need a filter. What the engine needs is clean air, and engine needs clean fuel or
Right.
clean oil or clean coolant. That is what engine requires.
Right.
Now, whether clean air can be given only by virtue of, by means of filter, or there can be any other innovation, can there be any other technology
Right.
where I do not need a filter, but I can still give clean air or clean fuel. So that is how we analyze the whole thing, talk to the customers, understand what their need is. Because most of the times, if you see, everybody wants something which is low cost. People do not want low cost. People don't understand what they want, and that is where we come into picture. To understand as to what exactly the customer needs. People will always say, I want the cheapest product. They do
Right.
not want the cheapest product. They want mental, what do you call, relief, so to say, calmness they want. I can give them a cheap product. What if
Right.
the product doesn't work? So that is how this is an ongoing process with the customers. We keep on improving the product. Another thing that I always tell our in the organization, do not try to compete with the competition. There's no point. Compete with yourself so that you will keep on improving, which is called process of ongoing improvement,
Right.
which we call PUGI.
Right.
So that is how we, even in the designing of the product, don't see what the competition has done.
Right.
Doesn't matter. If we are here, how do we go here? That's what we keep on doing, so
Right.
that we better ourselves.
Interesting, because one of the factors which you have brought into intention here is awareness, which is very critical especially when you're dealing with customers. Now, Mr. Kirloskar, although there are processes, strategies in place, competition, you have a product that does well in the market, but there are failures that happen. So, if that happens, what are the learnings you take? You have talked about how you build up, in terms of your capability, innovation. But when a failure happens, which is bound to be, in a competitive market, how do you take that as a lesson and how do you move forward?
So, if I understood correctly, you're talking about a customer quality complaint in terms of failure,
Yes, or it could be a product malfunction, for example. So anyhow you want to put it.
See, obviously, we live in a world where there are going to be problems.
Right.
There are going to be customer quality complaints.
Yes.
There is going to be malfunctioning of some product because of some Murphy that exists in the process or in the entire
Correct.
manufacturing industry. The key here is, whenever I buy a product myself, I know that there can be some problem to it. But the main thing is, anywhere, I'm not talking about only at the manufacturing industry, anywhere, for you and I also, if we buy a product and I know if something goes wrong with the product and I call, I will get immediate service. You will go ahead and buy that product even the second time, even if the first time it has failed. Now the customer, even when there is a failure in the market, he is not expecting me to solve that problem in 5 minutes. He also knows that I cannot.
Exactly.
But what he is looking at is, what is my response? Am I giving a good response? Sir, I will call you back at 10 o'clock. I call up at 9:45 and I tell him, I am working on it. It is going to take more time. Give me time till 12. The customer is relieved. He knows that I am on it. But if I tell him that I am going to call you at 10 and I don't call till 10:30, he starts getting restless. So yes, we agree that there are going to be failures. There is no way that a product is not going to fail in the market. Of course, we will carry out improvements on that, whether it is design, whether it is process, but that is at a later stage. First is acknowledge that there is a complaint and give immediate response that we are taking care of.
Right.
And keep on giving feedback to the customer on a regular basis. If you have said on this particular day I am going to do it a day earlier.
Right.
You're sorted.
Right. Transparency in communication.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Don't keep the customer hanging, or for that matter, anybody.
Right.
Even your in the organization internally.
Right.
If, let us say, appraisal is due on the 5th, call the employee on the 4th.
Right.
And finish it.
Good.
Because he or she is not expecting it.
Right.
So that is how we take care of failures are going to happen. There is no organization or no field in this entire world where there is not going to be a failure ever.
Right, Mr. Kirloskar, you've been in this industry for almost 3 decades, if I'm not mistaken. Now, what kind of advice would you like to give aspiring leaders or entrepreneurs who wants to get into this, not necessarily in a manufacturing business, but to take up a business, entrepreneurship?
Only one. Take decisions. That's it.
Short and sweet.
Take decisions, because very simple. Decisions are never right or wrong.
Right.
Never. You are taking a decision today on the situation based on that particular day or those particular circumstances which are going to change.
Right.
So that's the only one advice that I will give anybody.
Absolutely.
Take decision, doesn't matter, and do not regret over it after 3 years. Example, in a stock market, today the shares are at, let's say, at 10 rupees a share. I sell it off. I have earned a profit. After a year, it is 25, and then I start regretting.
Right.
Oh, I should have waited. No. You've sold it, just forget about it.
Right.
That time the decision was right because you needed the money.
Right. Great, fantastic.
So take decisions,
Right.
that's it.
Good word of advice. One last question, Mr. Niranjan Kirloskar. As a leader, what kind of legacy do you want to set, say, after a decade?
I want to make myself, while I'm talking to you, I want to ensure that I am obsolete. And that's the same that I want to continue for the people who will succeed me.
Right.
And it's not only for me, but even my leadership team in the company. I have always told them only one thing: make yourself obsolete. You make yourself obsolete, you're the most important person in that organization. But if you think that only if I am around things are going to move,
Right.
you have a problem. You will not survive.
So great insights. It's the culture, the value, the way you work that matters. It's not just one person, it's the whole organization.
Yes.
So, Mr. Kirloskar, it's a pleasure chatting with you. Thank you for those wonderful insights. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.